We
got
on?
Bryson. We got Bobby.
Welcome, Star Wars fans, to another Order 66 Toys video. Today we are going to be doing a
You guys are too far apart.
A fan theory what if video featuring Thanos. What if Thanos was in the Star Wars universe? What effects could he have on the characters, having assembled the all 6 Infinity Stones in that universe? And
how would Jedi powers interact with the Infinity Stones?
What effects would Force users have on such a character and such abilities? So we're gonna
have to go this way.
Probably. So we're gonna kind of
can't turn your phone while
discuss
recording.
and gauge each other on what we might think would happen in this kind of setting in this universe. So to start off, if Thanos assembles the gauntlet in the Star Wars universe, say he's part of the Star Wars universe, Marvel does some cool crossover event with since they own and write the Star Wars comics currently right now.
I'm pretty sure it'd be lame. If they did it in the comics, that's okay. If they did it in the movie.
If they did it, it would be in the comics.
Yeah.
So a little bit of background information. The Infinity Stones only work in the universe they are natural to, if that makes sense.
So we're saying they would be active in the Star Wars universe?
If in order for the Infinity Stones to be active in the Star Wars universe, they would have to be assembled from the Star Wars universe.
So we're saying in this instance they would be?
And for
he's
this
saying
scenario,
each multiverse. So Star Wars universe would be one multiverse.
Yes.
Marvel would be another multiverse.
Yes.
Each multiverse has its own Infinity Stones.
Each universe,
okay.
So you can't cross two universes.
Yes.
Like you can't cross over to another universe with the Infinity Gauntlet.
I saw a movie last week.
You can't cross over to a universe with the Infinity Gauntlet and have it work in that other universe. It can only work in the universe it originated.
I got you.
That makes sense. So
the question is, does Thanos know this?
I would think Thanos would know this.
Does Thanos know about multiverses?
Saying he's in. Just for the scenario's sake, he is from this Star Wars universe that we're going to be playing with this scenario in. He is assembling the Infinity Stones. He is journeyed to the galaxy far, far away, so he's still technically in the same universe, just in the Star Wars galaxy. Okay, so aside from Thanos, we know about the Force, right? There's the cosmic force and the living force. So Force users, in a sense, have pretty much limitless powers as far as their imagination can take them, as far as they feel like their strength is theirs. So how do you think limitless power with the Infinity Gauntlet would interact with a Force user who essentially could also have limitless power in a sense?
Well, Alex just said it. You turn that lightsaber into bubbles real fast.
See, what I'm saying is, if those stones
There will be no spoilers of it.
If those stones are relevant, like they were in the movie, you can control, time and all these other aspects that a Jedi is just Force abilities. I feel like his avenue of power is so much bigger in so many different streams. The Jedi would be, I feel like, so limited.
Now, there's that, but let's say for the example, Thanos just has the Infinity Gauntlet. That's the source of his power. He doesn't have the Force. He's not Force sensitive. Say he goes against someone like Vader or even a Jedi. What's to stop a Jedi?
Let's say Palpatine.
Or even Palpatine. What's stopping a Force user to keep him from using the Gauntlet?
If you can Force pull the gauntlet off, I'd say you're in pretty good shape.
What about Vader, man? Vader could just crush the gauntlet or pull the stones off.
Exactly. Once they're attached, do they stay attached? It's not.
That's a good point.
It's not new to the Marvel universe to have the stones removed, because there have been points in the comics where the stones have been separated from the gauntlet and spread out amongst Infinity Watch, which is a different thing entirely. Very cool. If you're a comics reader, the Infinity Watch was a really cool series. Late 80s, early 90s, I think, or maybe it was mid to late 90s. I don't remember exactly. But Infinity Watch was really cool.
Say these guys fight right now. How do you see it? How do you see it going?
I see, and that's a really tough question. I would think Vader.
See, this is obviously movie verse. Avengers Thanos.
Yeah.
Let's start with how does Avengers Thanos match up to comic Thanos?
Comic Thanos has some subtle differences to movie Thanos. So with comic Thanos, we know his drive mostly is his desire to be with Lady Death and achieving feats that would please her and make her desire him. Which is why in the comics
That dude's thirsty.
yeah, exactly. It's actually all of his drive in the comics is he's thirsty. Until the new modern comics, he writes off Lady Death. He gets tired of her manipulating him. But in the comics, it's a little bit different. Now there are points where he still likes to test his strength in battle, like we saw in the film, in some points or another.
No spoilers
though. But
there's some hand-to-hand battle that he gets into.
But that's where he's just testing his strength. We'll let you guys see that for yourselves, though. But in the comics, there are even points where after the Infinity Gauntlet event even occurs, there comes a point where Thanos, just on a whim, decides, what would happen if I cloned myself with the abilities and features of other Marvel superheroes and characters. For example, there is a Iron Man Thanos, there is a Doctor Strange Thanos, there's a Professor X version of Thanos, a Galactus version of Thanos. So, I mean, who's to say, coming toe-to-toe with Vader, they both end up leaving the event. Who's to say that he wouldn't do something like that? It wouldn't be an experiment for him to test Vader's strength or a Force user's strength, because obviously in Marvel, there's not a lot of people with Force abilities unless you want to count people with the Phoenix Force and things like that.
Well, if we're talking
that would
about
be the
just
closest
Marvel
thing.
overall, you got Star Wars Marvel comics.
And yes, we do still have the Star Wars Marvel comics. And who knows, maybe there would be a cool crossover in the future.
Essentially, it'd be pretty sweet.
It would be pretty sweet, just to kind of see what if, and maybe test some of these theories out. To put the two biggest baddies in the galaxy against each other, and two of the most popular baddies in the galaxy.
I also would
against
say
each
like a younger Vader, like right after Episode 3 Vader, would be a lot better off, I'd say, than like Return of the Jedi Vader.
I would say in between the Jedi Temple and Mustafar Vader would be the best.
Oh yeah, I mean that's
because right after Episode 3, he's still hurting bad.
Yeah.
We see some incredible feats from Vader, especially in the comics, in between episodes 4 and 5, when the first Vader comic series went down, which was very popular. That's where characters such as Dr. Aphra made their debut. Vader Down occurred in that.
Man, we're getting busy in here.
But here's why we're getting busy right now is we also have our Star Wars Battlefront 2 Battle Royale tournament, and it's about to start any second now, actually.
Yeah, I think we're actually going to have to wrap this video up.
Yeah, right after we finish with this, we'll go ahead and get right to it. But, so yeah, that's kind of our theme. I don't know, what do you think? Vader or Thanos? Who do you think would win?
Me being a Star Wars guy, I want to say Vader, but also I've seen the movie and how much of a threat Thanos really is. It just kind of makes you think he's a pretty bad dude.
See, now even for me, reading... Okay, MCU Thanos has some very big differences to comics Thanos, especially in durability. There are points in the comics where Thanos, even without the gauntlet, is much stronger than the Thanos that we saw on screen and people will see on screen in the new Marvel's Infinity War film. So I would say if it was between MCU Vader and Thanos, as long as Vader keeps Thanos from using the gauntlet, using the Force, I'd give the fight to Vader. As far as comics go, if it was between comics, Thanos and Vader,
Thanos.
I would go with Thanos.
Yeah.
Thanos is much more cunning in the comics. He's driven by much more than by the drive to just balance the universe. In the comics, that's not his desire at all.
See, I think a big thing, if I was writing a crossover, I would have some Jedi / Vader or Palpatine enter the MCU. like through the comics, he enters the MCU.
That would be
Then,
cool.
I think the way that they beat him, their best bet of beating him, is to get Thanos to follow them back or chase them back into the Star Wars universe, therefore deactivating his gauntlet,
Stones.
and then
Oh, once the stones are relevant, it's not even close.
Exactly.
I mean,
Not
even
even
at
close.
this point, all it takes is a good saber throw.
Yep. Especially
Because at that point, if it's off, he can't use the time stone to go back and redo all that, right?
no,
That's
if he
right.
doesn't have it, he can't use it. So,
So it's like it could be really simple that Vader wins.
so as
Or,
long
you
as
know,
as long as they're in the Star Wars universe and Thanos doesn't assemble the stones there, it's definitely a Star Wars fight.
What's cool,
But
yeah.
in the Marvel universe, having them cross over, it would probably certainly be a Thanos fight. So it really depends on the setting, and I guess the writing of the.
he could take away the saber, but he couldn't take away the force.
right.
That's true.
You know,
Or he could change reality
he
to
could-
where there's no force at all. We really don't know what the rules are.
Because having the gauntlet,
Yeah.
Thanos has mastery over absolutely every part of the.
He could change the force,
Nope.
obviously.
Once he has the gauntlet on, the only person that can defeat Thanos is Thanos.
See, I disagree. He's a Thanos fanboy. I disagree with that because there's all kinds of lists online who can beat Thanos.
There's honestly probably YouTube videos already
That's
of matchups
with
like
or
this.
without the gauntlet, though. The only person I think that could really come close to contesting Thanos with the gauntlet would probably be the Beyonder.
in a 1v1.
Dude, how can
Every-
you say that? Adam Warlock has beat him. Silver Surfer has
Not
beat
with
him.
the gauntlet.
Yeah.
No, Thanos beat himself, and then Adam Warlock picked up the gauntlet.
Hashtag Team Vader.
Hashtag Team Vader. I agree. Anyway,
Team Vader. baby.
before we get into a debate, that's kind of our fan theory of how it would kind of probably go down if the two kind of clashed. Let's see other fan theory videos. What's your fan theory? Give us some suggestions. Maybe bring up what our next topic of
Give us
discussion
other
should be.
matchups potentially you guys would want us to talk about in the future.
That's a great idea.
Other matchups, yeah.
Start a little series on that.
And maybe we'll start doing that a little bit more often.
Pretty hard to beat this one right here, though.
That one's- that one's-
See,
guys
Steve
right
just
there.
said Vader would just pull off the stones, which is what I said.
Yeah, it's very possible.
So I mean,
that could
so they
happen.
can come off, or they attack.
Yeah, they can come off. Well, yeah, they can come off. They've come off the gauntlet.
Or plot twist: Vader has his own gauntlet and takes some of the stones off, and puts them on his gauntlet.
What if Vader assembled the Star Wars universe gauntlet?
What would those stones be?
Vader would have ultimate power.
Kyber crystals.
Anyway, so from all of us,
Dude, this could
from
get
all
so
of us
good.
here at Order 66 Toys, before we keep going and get a little out of hand, thanks for watching this video. And if you want to see more videos like this, again, comment, tell us, give us some ideas of what you might want to see or hear. So again,
I want to know
thanks
how
for,
many people realize that your glasses don't have lenses in them.
Don't tell them that. No, stop it. Stop it. They help me see things when I'm doing work and read, or when I'm doing discussions. They help me look for them. Anyway,
All right, my people.
from all of us here from Order 66 Toys, thanks again, and we'll see you later. We'll see you another time. May the 4th be
Be with
all of
you.
you.
See you guys.